Welcome back to this part 2 of my build. I built the Italeri 1/48 scale F-18 Hornet. Actually, it's the Super Hornet. In the first part, I have finished all the building and then moving on to paint. And first of all, we need to have a good base paint. I use black base paint for this. Base coat really needs to be strong and durable in order to get a good top coat finish. So first of all, I've wiped down all surfaces with the isopropyl alcohol. First of all, to remove all residue and other things that has been left over from either the mold building or my fingers, grease, dirt and grime. I put on an even coat all over the model. This coat of paint is very important. It needs to be nice and even, without any scratches. This is a regular flat black I use. And of course the vertical stabilizers need a good coat of paint as well. Next step is to fill in all the parts that I've painted in metallic with a metallic paint. Has to be covered by this liquid masking before I put on the top coat of paint. The liquid mask helps protect the steel paint that I've painted. And you can help it along with a toothpick. Now comes the pre-shading step. I appreciate all the surfaces with this white paint. This is to make the effects of brightened areas on the top coat. These planes, when they are used on carriers, are beaded up heavily. So the paint takes a lot of both heat and sun and seawater. These airplanes are used in a very harsh environment. I try to emulate that by brighten up some certain areas of the model with this white paint. And when I put on the top coat, this will show it will show through, but only in a very subtle way. First, I use the white to make these areas more vibrant. Then I use a flat white color to paint the wheel wells. The reason for them being white is actually because it's very easy to see oil slicks, spills and stuff like that on a white surface. After I've painted these whites, I cover the wheel wells with tape in order to protect the coat that I've just applied. For making some variations in the color scheme, I put on some green. Or green shade. Again, this is for the very subtle effect of the pale panels affected by the sun and the heat. I select certain panels to paint in this green color or greenish color. There's no particular green, just any kind of color will do. It's just to create the effects of, or the illusion of different kinds of variations in the paint job. I'm a fan of appreciating. Some aren't, and you're welcome to leave a comment on your opinion on should we appreciate or should we not appreciate. think you can reach a very subtle effect of pre-shading. Some of the areas in the wheel wells are painted red. I actually don't know why. If you know, please leave a comment below. Now on to the top coat, and this is gold gray, flat gold gray. And again, painting each panel one at a time in order to best have the see-through effect of pre-shading, and also to leave the gaps between the panels to make the illusion of a darker edge on each panel. Going through each panel meticulously. To build up the right effect on the top coat. Some have asked what kind of airbrush I'm using, and I can tell you that I'm using no specific brand of airbrush here. This is actually just a no-name brush that I bought second-hand on the internet. It does the job very nicely. This is a 0.3mm pin that I use. This is a 0.3 point needle I use, and I have another airbrush I use for larger surfaces. Now the bottom part needs to be filled in with the top coat, and this time I'm using a lighter gray. Next step is to fill in the gunship gray down the spine of the airplane. This flat gunship gray I use here. And again, filling in each panel one by one. And of course the vertical stabilizers need to be gunship gray as well on this specific kit. So again, making sure that the base coat is applied evenly and to make the finished results as good as possible. I set it aside and let it cure for at least 24 hours before I move on. I set it aside and let it cure for at least 24 hours before I move on. Just make sure that the paint has been fully cured and can be handled without too much damage. And now to the favorite part of the build, or at least it's my favorite part of the build, removing all the masking tapes and to reveal the job. You have to be very careful not to scratch the paint that you have applied. But luckily this paint is actually pretty durable, and I have no issues with removing the tape using my tweezers. Now on to removing the liquid mask that I applied previously to reveal the metal finish underneath. And then lastly I sprayed all with some clear coat. This one is from Winsor & Newton Galleria, and it's a glossy coat. And this is to first of all to protect the paint, then to make a smooth surface for the decals to be applied on. I make sure that I apply a decent and even coat of varnish to this. Now onto the decals. First of all, I use solver set to make sure the decal sticks firmly to the surface. These decals from Italeri is actually pretty good. They apply easily. And they are actually okay to handle when they have been applied. Next step is to make sure that we get all the air bubbles out and remove all liquid from beneath the decal. I gently press down on the decal with a cotton bud. So this is the final result after first putting solver set, then the decal, and finally on the top a microsol solution. Next step is to weather the airplane, and I start off by weathering the main landing gear. I use oil paints for weathering. I'm not a big fan of these different kind of pre-mixed enamel shadings. I always use oil colors diluted in mineral spirits. On the bottom here I apply some oil paints in that ochre shade. And then dry brush it with a large brush, just gently dabbing it. I use the same technique on top with white, just highlighting some of the panels with the white shade. Giving the illusion that this plane has been standing out in the sun on an aircraft carrier deck. And as you can see, I broke off the antenna. Next step is to attach the exhaust cones. As you can see, besides of doing the regular weathering, I've done some streaking as well, just to emulate that oils and dirt and grime has been running down the airplane, or down the wings of the airplane. Finally, the vertical stabilizers will be attached. Some additional weathering coming up. Lastly, I'm applying some panel lines just to enhance some of the effects. Again, this is oil paints that heavily diluted in mineral spirits. It's easy to apply, easy to take off again. It's easy to apply and easy to remove if you're not satisfied with the result. So very easy to work with. So just letting the panel line, just letting it dry a bit and then wiping it off again with a cotton bud. Making sure that I don't remove too much of it, but just the excess. And if you remove too much, you can always reapply. Now comes the really fun part of exposing the canopy. It's always a bit nerve-wracking to unveil the result of the canopy. Hopefully I didn't get any overspray into the cockpit. That easily shows up inside the cockpit. And so far it's looking nice. Really need to be careful not to lift off the paint. That's so far so good. Now onto the main canopy. And I must say I'm pretty happy with the result. It looks really nice, no overspray at all. So it looks like I've managed to close off the canopy completely in order to not get this kind of overspray inside. So that was it. This is the final review of my airplane. I must say there's been several issues with this plane, or this kit. A lot of fitting issues, holes that shouldn't be there, pylons that has been misplaced, positioned in the wrong places, air ducts that look terrible, need a lot of filling, and the fan inside wasn't really up to scale. But at the end I think I did a decent job with it. Not totally satisfied, but it is how it is. I hope you enjoyed the walkthrough of this build, and until next time, happy modeling fellas, and see you then.